Brian Cowen was first elected to the Dáil in a by-election in 1984 at the age of just 24. He's been leader of Fianna Fail and Taoiseach since May 2008 when he succeeded Bertie Ahern. Micheál Lehane looks back at his time in office.
He came into the job as the uncontested new Fianna Fáil leader. He exits the stage today, but his time at the helm had started with a simple promise.
That I will give you all of my effort, all of my endeavour. That I will work with everybody in government and indeed everyone in Parliament whose job it is to do their job from the opposition benches. To give you a vibrant and energetic democratic life in this country.
But Brian Cowen struggled to live up to that promise made in his hometown of Clara, from where he was first elected to the Dáil at the age of 24, following the death of his father Burr. The new Laois Shoffley TD would spend 8 years on the back benches before becoming Minister for Labour. Spells in communications, health, foreign affairs and finance followed before he succeeded Bertie Ahern as Taoiseach in May 2008. On taking office, he spoke a great deal about Sean Lemass. But while Lemass took over at a time when the country was on the cusp of economic expansion in 1959, Brian Cowen's early days in charge were dogged by a banking crisis and rising unemployment. He urged people to work together.
There is a future to be fought for, and I will lead that fight.
But his fortunes were dented early on with the defeat of the first Lisbon Treaty referendum. His party and the public waited for the new Taoiseach to repeat the aggressive and decisive kind of performances that had turned the last election in Fianna Fáil's favour.
Mr Kenny and Mr Rabbitte are engaged in a con job. They are busting their own framework during the election campaign, let alone afterwards.
But this time, as the economy sank deeper into debt, unemployment soared, and the scale of the banking crisis became clear, Brian Cowen was about to face this charge in the Dáil.
That decision was an act of economic treason.
I will not be accused, frankly, of seeking to cause treason to my country. I find that beyond the pale. And I'd never come into this House and accuse another Irishman of what you accuse me.
Against the background of increased spending cuts, backbenchers' opinion of their boss was further damaged following a controversial early morning interview at the Fianna Fáil think-in last September. Then, after many denials, the feared IMF arrived with a costly bailout package. Revelations of more contact with the former Anglo-Irish boss in 2008, combined with an opinion poll that showed his party with just 14% support, convinced TDs that a change at the top was needed. But Brian Cowen survived a vote of confidence last week. However, a botched attempt to reshuffle his cabinet was the final straw.